Alrighty, the ARCO employee is engaged in federal group stalking and monitoring with the U.S. government. That is stalking via the Ontario International Airport. That is stalking at what is G Street and Euclid, as the people of the state are on Euclid Avenue and G Street. Okay, this is the entity that's progressing, stalking north as I walk north. They do the same thing, stalking going in the south direction as I go south. Recall all the documentation of me traveling on Euclid Avenue toward Economy Inn, where the entity kept the fake sun rising and setting, by the way, at Economy Inn. The entity committed kidnapping at Economy Inn, 2301 South Euclid Avenue. The entity engages in what is flying over my room through these commercial planes at Economy Inn, flying over me on the sidewalk while I'm outside of that property at Economy Inn. This is the entity that's at the 60 freeway. They're stalking, and they're going to be federally prosecuted while the airport is stalking and while the police department are stalking. That is serving to prosecute the people that say who committed criminal summoning last night while they're monitoring my evidence of me publishing them engaging in serial stalking at Stater Brothers. And for that, they are subject to federal prison. This is a population engaging in that, and they are psychopaths that will stalk you in a grocery store. They will stalk you in the bathroom. They will stalk you at any venue, at the gas stations. They will engage in any means of what is tracking your steps before they commit murder, and they do so with the government that's stalking as well, using commercial planes, which is an illustration regarding the mental illness of the demon-possessed that are gang stalking. I also want you to pay attention. This is El Pescador. There are no parking lot lights on in here. Across the street, the entity has the lights on. This is where the entity last night, the lights were on. Yesterday morning, the lights were on. They engage in what is sexual assault and battery using the light activity as a means of monitoring. That's creating what is a legal character regarding the criminal activity that light is used for. And that is a documentation of El Pescador as a sex offender. This morning, they don't have the lights on. While you're looking at the rest of the property, it's still dark time. And the entity is engaged in what is utilizing the parking lot lights across the street, where they also engage in that same thing. Which is light activity creation for the gang stalking purposes of the government, stalking by plane and helicopter, and the people of the state. This is P.O.C. ARCO is engaged in gang stalking. Okay, this is what the entity is doing at the Ontario Town Square. This is what they were doing as I walk up toward the ARCO at 434 North Euclid Avenue. This is what the entity is doing while I am at the Hawthorne and Euclid Avenue intersection, where they are also stalking with the people of the state in the neighborhoods where they're being published on the internet, so that anyone can look up the domestic terrorists in California, and they have no protections from being excluded from any area of life, any business, any neighborhood, any government program, where you do not have to have a conversation with them in order to know that these are the demons that you do not want to be associated with. And that's one of the ways in which the P.O.C. is going to be used. And it's reference to the ongoing blatant stalking, which is what ARCO is engaging in. They're being federally prosecuted. This is P.O.C. It is currently, by the way, where the entity is following me up the street. This is what the Ontario Police Department recall. This is what they were doing at 12 o'clock in the morning. This is what they were actually doing, was stalking. And that's why that department's being disbanded. And those demons are going to federal prison, and they're going to be subject to mental examinations. It's 6:08 a.m. when they're engaging in what is cartwheels as I'm traveling north up Euclid Avenue, prosecuting the people of the state for me. That's the case against the people that have no privacy rights. They don't live on any private property. They're not engaging in any private activity whatsoever. They're stalking as an entity that is engaging in what is a system of murder and kidnapping in the state of California. And such terrorists are being published and exposed all over the internet for the protection of the American people and for the reference of those even outside of the U.S., the domestic terrorists that are inside of the United States. This is P.O.C.